Question 10, what is the solution to the equation? I've rewritten it to give us more space. So like always, our first step is to isolate the radical. And if you don't know, raising something to the 1/2 power is the same thing as taking the square root. So that's in rational exponent form. We want to convert it to radical form. So raising something to the 1/2 power is the same thing as taking the square root. So our first step in isolating the square root is we're going to do the inverse operation and add 2 to both sides, and that leaves us with x plus 2 on the right side, and on the left side that leaves us with the square root of 2x plus 3. Our next step is we're going to get rid of the radical by squaring both sides. So we're left with 2x plus 3 on the left, and on the right we're left with x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Remember, x plus 2 squared is not x squared plus 4. Squaring something means multiplying it by itself, so we've got to write it out and multiply x plus 2 times x plus 2 the long way. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is positive 2x. Just for clarity, I'm choosing a different color. And then we're going to take that 2 and multiply it by x, 2x. And that 2 and multiply it by the last 2, that gives us positive 4. And now we combine our like terms. We get x squared plus 4x. These are right here combined to give us that 4x plus 4. All of that equal to 2x plus 3. So then from here, since we've got a quadratic now in this problem, we've got an x squared term, means to solve this problem, we need to get it equal to 0 and solve it by factoring or by quadratic formula. So to be able to do that, you've got to get it equal to 0. So that means we need to clear out the left side completely. So I'm going to subtract 2x and subtract 3 from the left side. And then, of course, I've got to do it to the right side. 2x minus 2x and positive 3 minus 3. All of that cancels out, gives us 0. On the right side, we've got x squared plus 2x. 4 minus 2x is 2x plus 1. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. And then we're going to factor this. Should recognize that we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to give us 1 and add together to give us 2. Well, that's 1 and 1. So it's the same factor twice. So we only are going to have one solution. So if we set that factor equal to 0 and subtract 1 from both sides, we get an answer of x equals 0 minus 1, out of space, negative 1. So the answer is either this or this. What's the extra step? The extra step is we've got to check to see if negative 1 is an extraneous solution by substituting negative 1 back in for x in the original problem. So I'm rewriting the original problem, except I'm replacing the x with negative 1 in both places. So notice there's an x here and an x here. So I've got negative 1 here and I've got it here in both places. Oh. All right, and then finally, let's do the math. 2 times negative 1 plus 3. All of this inside the parentheses. That's just 1. Didn't leave myself enough space there, so I'm erasing some work from an early part of the problem. 1 raised to the 1/2 power. Remember, that's the same thing as taking the square root of 1, if you want to think about it that way instead. And the square root of 1 is just 1. And 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So it's just a coincidence when we substituted negative 1 back in the original problem, it ended up giving us negative 1 on both sides. But the point is, it makes the equation true when we substitute negative 1 back in. So negative 1 is a solution. It is not an extraneous solution.